So everyone, Jason Gilbo here with Nick Tasso breaking down some stacking options for tonight's slate. 14 games. This was one where, I probably like 6 or 7 just stacks off the top of my head when I looked at things.
Yeah, I agree with you. This pitching slate is not the best. There are a couple of high arms, but there's a lot of teams that you could really attack with.
Yeah, no cores, but obviously we get Arizona in Chase Field. That's played just as well, if not better than cores this year. And you and I both looking at Arizona as a top stack tonight.
Yeah, totally. I probably like a little bit different players than you, just because I looking at Zach Davies, he's kind of a reverse splits guy. So kind of wait and see about the lineups because this Diamondbacks team does have a bunch of righties that are kind of not low price, but in the mid tier that you could really fit into your lineup. Guys like Brandon Drury and even Chris Owens. So I don't mind those guys. Obviously, attack them with Goldschmidt and Lamb, but if you're looking for a little bit different lineup, kind of Drury and Owens might fit your needs.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely cool with that. As you mentioned, Davies is a little bit reverse splits, 382 woe to right-handers this year, 351 woe to lefties. Yeah, going on the road at Chase Field. I know Davies threw a good start against Arizona, a few weeks ago when they were in Miller Park. Completely different story with Arizona. 368 woe at home, 220 ISO. Their hard contact also ranked second in the league. So high total here, a little bit expensive, but like you said, if you can work in some of those mid-price infielders, it's not bad.
Yeah, Drury on FanDuel is near 2,000, which is really good. He bats 6 typically, so you're getting good value there. If you look at Davies, his last start was against the Dodgers, who are always a lefty-heavy team, and he had a pretty good outing. So I'm not shying away from lefties in this Diamondbacks lineup because most of them are better than what the Dodgers have. But I probably would focus more on righties.
Yep, I like that call there. You're also looking at Washington. Good matchup against Andrew Cashner.
Yeah, totally. Cashner kind of isn't that bad against lefties, but he still has given up a 1.27 home runs to over 9 to lefties as well. So I think there's a lot of power in this Nationals lineup that could take him deep. Wish this game was in Texas and that you had the DH, but you know what? I still think Cashner is going to struggle here.
Yeah, I do too. I like the Washington stack. I'm curious to see what that lineup looks like. It looked like yesterday was just kind of a general rest day for guys like Daniel Murphy, Ryan Zimmerman, Anthony Rendon. So today we should definitely get that full lineup in play. It might even get like a decent value. I know Goodwin, Michael Taylor have been playing in the outfield as well. So hopefully you kind of get that extra value piece in there to kind of break it up. Because, other than that, it's pretty expensive. But outside of Kluber, there's no real other arm that's like killing you in terms of price. And even Kluber's not that bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And you like Cashner, his numbers splits from home and away are really weird. So he has a higher ERA on the road, but he's given up no home runs on the road this year, which is weird. And the batting average on the road against is 217 compared to 291 at home. So it is a little puzzling, but I still think this is the game where he kind of has a struggles on the road.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see it. I'm always a big fan of stacking Cashner, even though it really has. We finally had a couple starts where Cashner gave what 5 earned runs. So this is probably another one where you're looking at one, and obviously that Texas bullpen's awful as well.
Yeah, totally. I know Cashner, his overall numbers have looked a little bit better than everyone was expecting, but I still think he has the potential to struggle.
Yep, too. Miami's a stack that I'm looking at tonight up against Tyler Class. Now, Miami got to Garrett Cole last night, and this is just a good spot for them to rake in. PNC's park's not the best, obviously, for power potential, but guys like Stanton, Ozuna, I don't really worry about that too much. They just have a ton of power. And Tyler Glass now absolutely awful holding on runners. He walks a ton of guys. So I think that sets up guys well for like D. Gordon and Christian Yelich who like to run. Glass has 21 stolen bases in 73 career innings. They don't throw guys out, and I think that kind of adds to the stack. And he's just been struggling on both sides of the plate this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the Miami team doesn't really get looked at too often for stacks, but they're one team that I feel has been very underowned and actually have come through a lot of times this year. So I definitely totally can see rostering them. I kind of wish the wild boar wasn't out, but it is what it is, and you can get some good value though with that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does look that Boar's out. I don't mind Dietrich or Real Muto is kind of that fifth guy in there. So I mean, they're in play. Glass now 40% hard contact rate allowed in May. It's already 38.5% in June. Has led 4 more earned runs and 5 of 11 starts. So I mean, like you said, I think Miami's going to go really overlooked because you have that Detroit Boston total, you have Arizona, you have Washington. I think Miami's just going to be completely overlooked.
Yeah, totally. And like you said, a lot of the guys are priced a little bit nice on both sites. And when you don't have a huge pitching for price wise, you can kind of fit a lot of guys in there.
Yeah, definitely can. You're looking at Detroit. I'm guessing you're not expecting Brian Johnson to go out and throw a complete game shutout like you did last time.
No, I mean, he is a good prospect, and I think he will have a good career. Not great, but I think he'll be good. I've heard rumors that he potentially has a hamstring issue right now, and he was actually bowling on Wednesday night for a charity. So I don't know how he really is going to perform, especially when you realize that the Tigers, they're basically all right-handed hitters who could pull the ball over the monster. So I kind of sort of going narrative and inside information play here.
Dude, I love this game. I love the Tigers stack. I mean, as you said, I don't think Brian Johnson's bad, but obviously this Detroit team is not Seattle. As you said, there's just a ton of right-handed power bats. JD Martinez, this is a really good spot for him. James McCann's due back from the DL today. He got activated, so had his rehab start on Wednesday. So I mean, I love him as a value. I'm with you. I mean, I think this game in general has potential to be, if not the highest scoring of the night. I mean, wind blowing out, warm night in Fenway. Even Jordan Zimmerman on the other side, I don't mind stacking the Red Sox, even though they haven't been that great.
Yeah, I agree with you. This game is going to be high scoring. I think it has the highest total tonight. Maybe Diamondbacks and Milwaukee have a little bit higher, but it's really up there. And like you said, Zimmerman's not that good either. I don't think Johnson's probably won't have the best outing, but I also don't think it's going to be atrocious. But if he only goes like 5 innings, this Red Sox bullpen, if it's a high scoring game and maybe they're not blown out, but maybe it's not really in reach, you don't really see Kimbrel, and we all know that they have struggles as well. So I kind of really like this Tigers offense. And you look at JD Martinez, he's been probably the best hitter since returning. His numbers, every time I look, every couple of days, just keep getting better. If I had to put one guy in a lineup, it would probably be JD Martinez. And I think there's enough value throughout the Tigers lineup that you could really make it work.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you. I'm looking at Cleveland as a third stack of mine. I feel like the prices are actually pretty solid on them, all below 4,500 on DraftKings. You usually don't see that too often with Cleveland. It's been a while since the Cleveland stack has gone off. And you look at against Miguel Gonzalez, 377 woba to lefties, Kipnis, Lindor, Brantley, Santana, all from the left side. Low strikeout rate. Cleveland's also been better at home dating back to last year. So I kind of hope they get a little bit overlooked on tonight's slate just because, as we said, I think that Boston-Detroit game is going to be really popular, and then Arizona as well. But Cleveland, I think, is in a sneaky spot here.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at Gonzalez, and I believe through almost every one of his starts, minus 2 starts, he's given up at least 6 or 7 hits. And when you're doing that, that adds up to runs. And if you're walking guys, it ends up pretty badly. So we all know that this Cleveland offense does have potential. And I think with the other games on the slate, I kind of agree with you. This is going to be a very low stack. And you could get pretty good value too, because like you said, they're priced pretty nicely.
Yeah, definitely. So those are our featured ones. Anyone that kind of just missed the cut for you?
I guess Red Sox, but we sort of touched on that briefly. Jordan Zimmerman really isn't that good, and it's going to be a high-scoring game overall. So I like them.
Yeah, and their prices are nice. I mean, what Mookie's like 4-1, 4-2 or something like that on DK.
Yeah, they're all pretty cheap. And to be honest with you, I've been looking into Benintendi, and it looks like his numbers have really started to improve again. So definitely keep him in mind.
Yep, I'm definitely with you. If there was one that I just missed out on, I mean, actually one game, the game in Atlanta, Matt Harvey versus Julio Teheran, two popular names, but two guys who obviously have struggles. And I think in that ballpark on a hot, muggy night, there's a lot of potential for stacking there too.
Yeah, totally. I think maybe even the Dodgers a little bit, but my concern is they have too many lefties in that lineup. But you never know. They do have a lot of righties that they can interchange and do some damage. Not the best ballpark, but it is what it is. One guy I will say that I'm not stacking against, and this is pretty crazy because he's the lowest priced pitcher, would be Vance Worley. I don't think he's going to have a great outing, but I also don't think it's going to be terrible.
No, I definitely agree, man. I feel like Vance Worley may be another spot we'd stack against, but Pittsburgh on a 14-game slate is probably just not what you want to do.
No, absolutely. They're one of the worst offenses, so stay away from that.
Yeah, so let's wrap things up here with us. You can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com, check out our great tools and content.